Hey everybody, it's Carol with Refunction Crafts, and today I'm bringing you a video tutorial on how to make this gorgeous angel heart piece. This is a layered piece. This was not originally my idea. I got this idea from Debbie Cottrell of Kiki Sale. She actually showed me or sent me a link to a video from a lady that did a tutorial on something similar to this. Her YouTube channel is called Jennings644, I think. I'm not positive that that's the right name, but anyway, I'm going to leave a link down below so that you guys can see her tutorial, because she does a beautiful heart piece like this. Only hers is a little bit bigger, and she did it slightly differently than I'm doing mine today. I don't think she left any color in anything, and she kind of went over her pearls and stuff with gesso, which I did not do. And then I added this little tail, which came from Kiki Sale here, to the bottom of this. So without further ado, I am going to go ahead, and you can see I have used diamond dust on this to give it some extra sparkle. You can see the sparkle in there. It's absolutely gorgeous, you guys. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to get started working on this one. And I have already gone ahead and painted this heart white. I wanted to save, in the interest of time, I wanted to go ahead and paint that because I'm sure pretty much all of you know how to paint something white. So I didn't feel like I really needed to do that part. First thing I'm going to do is I am going to put rhinestone chain around the outside of this heart. And I think I'm going to try and go around and just make sure I've got exactly the right amount and cut it off so that I'm not cutting it off at the end and making a mess of everything. So I'm just going to go around. I'll cut it ever so slightly longer so that if I am short a little bit, well, I won't be short, because then I can just kind of push the rhinestones closer together and it will fit. So this is a 4mm rhinestone chain. This rhinestone chain happens to be just a clear rhinestone. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my E6000 adhesive to attach the rhinestone chain. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go around the entire outside of the heart, and the rhinestones are going to be facing upwards, as I always do on all my pieces. I make sure that they are facing up towards the embellished part of the heart. And we're just going around the entire thing, trying not to overdo it, but to put enough on there that that rhinestone chain is going to stick. Because if you don't put enough, sometimes it dries a little bit before you ever even get to it, and then it doesn't want to stick. So, okay, I'm going to pick this up and just start going around the outside of this heart, again with the rhinestones facing up. So you can see there, and then I'll show you after I get these on how they will all be facing upwards. And this was one thing that she did not do on her heart. I don't think she did anything around the edge of the heart. But she had put so many beautiful embellishments on it, it really didn't need it. And mine probably doesn't really need it either, but I am kind of, that's one of the things that I pretty much kind of do to everything like this, is to add those rhinestones around the edge just for some added sparkle to the piece. So what I'm doing now is I'm going to fit this in here, and I'm just going to sort of slide these rhinestones around so that they are all hugging the heart. And they are all facing upwards. And then I'm just trying to evenly space them as well. Okay, and then I usually will take it to the back and check to see that it looks sort of semi-flat so that it's even. Because sometimes from the front you can't tell, but when you turn it over to the back you can kind of tell if it's even. Because you don't want it to be going squiggly around the edges of the heart. You want to try and get it as straight and even as you possibly can. And this is one way of doing that. Just turn it over, lay it down, and just sort of press those so that they're flat to the top of the heart. And then you know they're straight. And they're not squiggly from the back now. So I can turn this back over. And there we have our rhinestones around the heart. And I think I'm going to move my lamp light here just so that it's not right on top of me. Okay, so there's that. Now what we're going to do is we're just going to start embellishing this beautiful heart. And one of the things that I want to use, and I didn't pull another one out, so I'm sorry if you're going to hear some shuffling around from me for a minute. Because I'm looking for a tail for this heart, and all of my tails have kind of gone there. Okay, we've got one. All right. So what I've got in here, in this little bag here, I've got a whole bunch of flowers and some pearls and things like that that we're going to try and use on this. And I'm going to try a trick with these pearls and hope that it works for us. Because I don't have a tiny string of pearls that I can just kind of loop around on this that are knotted in between. So we're going to try something new with this. I am going to put a little bit of lace trim on this, just because I have some kind of already cut up. And so I want it to kind of hang off in a couple of spots, so that I'm going to go ahead and use some of this. So I'll put a piece there. I need my scissors so I can cut off any weird edges that are on here. Okay, so we'll put one there. And I think I'll put a little piece there, and maybe a little bit there. Okay, so I'm just going to take these lace pieces, and I want to make sure that they're turned the correct way. That's something that you always need to pay attention to, shiny side up, when you're working with appliques and lace trims and things like that. And this is something I did not put a lot of on my other piece, which is fine. You could do none of this at all. I just wanted to have a little bit of it sort of hanging over in a couple spots, so that's why I'm using it. Just for sort of a little different look. A little more layer, I guess I should say. I wanted to add just a little bit more layer to it. And get a whole bunch of glue strings all over my hands. Okay, so we've got some lace on there. Just a little bit, just to kind of decorate the edges. This part in the middle, I'm not really worried about what that looks like because it's going to be covered up with flowers. Again, For those of you that get kind of frustrated with me for my layers, I'm sorry. This is something that I like to do, and I feel like it makes a difference for me. And so I try to add as much layering as I can. And you can see that finished heart that I already did just turned out spectacular. So I'm pretty much doing the same thing with this heart. Okay, so we've got some different flowers. It's okay that we've got a variation of colors and things here. That's just fine, because I'm also going to be putting some chalk paint over the tops of these flowers so that just part of the color pops through. You won't see all of the color on them. I do want to add one of my pretty purple flowers that I got from Kiki's sale, because this one will, I think, add a really nice pop of color. And we're going with purples and pinks in this, and maybe even a little bit of other color that'll pop through a little bit here and there. So I've got some little silk flowers, and then the rest of these are a couple of ribbon flowers and then paper flowers. So that's what we're going to be using in this. So let's get started gluing these flowers on. This one is going to go up in the upper corner because it's the biggest flower that I'm going to be using. So I'm just going to pop that one up in this corner. And then we're just going to kind of go around it with these other flowers. And no particular fashion, just adding flowers around as we see fit. Here's one of my little silk flowers. And we're going to go with this one right here. And we're also going to be putting an angel in this. I've got a couple of little angels. I'm going to just kind of pop those over here that I got from Debbie at Kiki Sale. She actually makes these little angels, and I love using them in my pieces. She does such a beautiful job making them, and they're absolutely adorable. Okay. Okay. And we'll put a couple of these just kind of other flowers in here. Let's see. And we want to use all different sized flowers for this. We don't want to keep them all the same. I spent a good amount of time just trying to find enough flowers in different sizes that I could use to do this, and I finally came up with exactly what I wanted to use. So I think the first one came out amazing. I'm really, really, really happy with it. Okay, so let's see, maybe I think what I'm going to do is I am going to put the tail on now before I put this last little flower in the bottom corner, or the bottom point. So we're just going to add this little tail down here at the bottom. We're going to use a little bit of E6000 and a little bit of hot glue just to make sure it sticks right now, and then we can continue working. So I'm just going to take that, and I'm going to hold it down. Okay, I've got my husband out there working on a table, and he brought it into my living room so that I can look at it. It's a little one that we picked up at a little thrift store, and we got it for like $17, and he has now refinished it and refurbished it, and it's gorgeous. I'll show you all a picture of it in one of my other videos if I can, or maybe in this one. At the end, I'll post a picture of it. But anyway, he's put it in my living room now, and so I'm waiting to go see that. As soon as I get done with this video, I will go in and check it out. So I'm super excited about that. Okay, let's see. I think I want one of these. Let's see. Where do I want to put this one? I wanted to get one of these purple ones in here, but I don't know if I'm going to. I guess I can just kind of shove it in there and lay the angel somehow kind of on top of a few of these flowers. So, okay. And then I've also got, what I also have is, I want this to stay a little bit nicer on there. I need to hold it down a little bit better for a minute. Give me just a minute, you guys, before I do anything else to this. I want that hot glue to set this thing in place. I'm trying to determine which angel I want to use on this one. We're going to use that one. I like that one. Okay, and then we're also going to put a piece of bling in here somewhere. Just kind of between the flowers. I'm not quite sure how that will go in. I think it's going to go just like, sort of like that. Yeah, that's going to look pretty. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to put our little angel down. She's going to lay right there in her bed of roses. And here's what we have so far. Doesn't that look gorgeous? Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use a little bit of E6000 on this and a little bit of hot glue. And we're going to place that right in there. And we're going to press it down and hold. And I think actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of these tiny pearls off of this piece and use them to place in a couple of spots on this, because these are little tiny sets of pearls that I can actually work with. Okay. And let's see, I think actually I need a couple more flowers up here at the top. And I'm going to take these pearls and I'm going to put a little bit of hot glue in this corner here. And we're going to drape the pearls a little bit, not super evenly. We want them to look kind of loopy. And I don't mean that in a bad way. And we'll put this last little bit right down in there. Okay, so there's a little bit of pearls there, and now I'm going to come sort of out of the middle here with this set of pearls and sort of drape them in a couple of places here. And hopefully you guys can see what I'm doing here. This is coming out really, really, really pretty. I'm super happy with it. And I'm not going to go too crazy with those pearls because I do have some other pearls that I'm going to use. I've got this bag of Tim Holtz holeless pearls, and I'm going to use a few of these as well. Just 3 of them, that's all. Okay, so this one we're going to put right here. Right there. The biggest one, let's see, I think I'm going to put this small one right there. And the bigger one maybe over there. And that looks really, really pretty. Okay, then the last thing, well, not the last thing, the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to take some of this chalk paint that I have here. A lot of people will use gesso, and that's fine. That's probably one of the better products to use for something like this, but I don't have any gesso, so I use, instead of gesso, I use chalk paint. And so I'm just going to take my brush, and I've got a little bit of chalk paint on that, and I'm going to go over these flowers. We're just going to paint over them with the white. And on the Jennings644 video, she paints over the flowers and the pearls and everything, and I am not painting the pearls. It's just my personal preference. I can't do it. I don't mind painting the flowers, but I do mind painting the pearls because I think it just, the pearls add a little bit of a pop of shine. And since I'm using diamond dust on this as well, I think the shiny pearls go nicely with the diamond dust. So I'm going to leave them shiny. But I am going over all of the flowers with the white, even the silk ones. So just so that you know, I'm taking that white onto all of these flowers. And you don't have to cover them completely. We want some of the color is still going to pop out from these flowers. The one thing you will notice when you start to paint over them is if you have any glue strings, they'll definitely show up once you start painting it. So, and it's okay if you get paint on the lace. That's fine too. That doesn't bother me. It's already white. Mine is anyway, but that's okay. I mean, and if you happen to hit a couple of the pearls with the paint, don't worry about that either. That's fine. I just don't want them all covered in paint. So. And some of you may have a preference to that matte look, you know, and that's okay too. Go ahead and paint your pearls if you want to. Because, you know, some people just prefer that matte finish. And I can see that. I like it in some things and not in others. So any way that you want to go over yours is perfectly fine. It's a matter of personal preference, really. This just happens to be mine. And I mean, I'm hitting the pearls a little bit here and there. Another way that you could do this to assure that you only get it on your flowers would be to paint your flowers before you start embellishing everything else. Which is probably a smart thing to do, although I think sort of the initial purpose of this project is to paint everything white. And not leave it, you know, colored or shiny or whatever. But that's okay. Okay, so I've got enough paint on there. Got to get this one under here. And you might want to take a smaller brush and get in between your flowers, you know, if you want more paint on them. For me, I'm not worried about, you know, making sure every little inch is covered. So, you know, again, personal preference there. Okay, so we've got those all painted. And then the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take my triple thick and my Floral Craft Diamond Dust, and we're going to be making this sparkle like the other one did. Although first, let me do this. I'm going to put this little pearl piece on as my hanger. No, you know what? I'm not. I'm going to use the same thing I used on the other one. I'm going to use this pearl and rhinestone chain as the hanger on this one as well. So all we have to do is I'm going to put a dot of E6000 on the round part of the hearts, and then I'm going to take a little bit of my hot glue on the front side of these pearls, the side that's going to be showing on the front. That's the side that this needs to go on, because we're going to point this down when we put it on the heart, because we want the pretty side to show on the front. And then make sure that you pay attention to the direction that you're going with this chain. And I think I've cut mine a little bit too long here on this one. So I'm going to cut a little bit off here. And then I'm just going to put hot glue on these pearls and these pearls. And we're going to lay that one right there. And the E6000, again, the reason that I use E6000 and hot glue is because the E6000 is going to give you your permanent hold, and the hot glue right now is going to stick it temporarily so we can continue working on the project without it falling apart. So that's why I use both glues, just so that you all know. Okay, so we'll leave that like that. And then I'm going to just take this, let's see. Okay, I'm going to use this, which is what I used no, I'm not, because that had diamond dust in it, and I don't want to have that get on it yet. I'll be right back, guys. Let me get a little lid. Okay, here I come. Okay, I'm just going to use a little plastic lid, put some triple thick on that, and I'm going to get one of my paint brushes and just start painting some triple thick on these flowers. Okay, we're just making sure that we're getting this triple thick on all of these flower petals so that when I dust it on there, it will cover all of the bits that we want it to cover. And then I'm also putting it on the lace pieces because I want the lace to also get that shimmer that the flowers are going to have. And maybe even on a couple of these spots where you can see there's kind of nothing there, just add some triple thick and we'll be putting some sparkle in those spots. And I'm going to put a little bit on her wings because I want her wings to sparkle. Okay, that's it for that. And I have my little cup of water here to put my brush in. And here's our diamond dust. This is just broken glass is what this is. You can get this on Amazon. And it's actually not, the price is not too bad. You can get the Twinklets brand as well, which is a bit more expensive. But I found that I get more of this brand than I do with the Twinklets, and it's cheaper. So that's why I started buying this brand of the diamond dust. So I just realized I did not put anything on this flower right here. And I don't know how I missed that. It's right up there at the top. I danced all around it. Okay, now. And I'm just taking a little spoon and I'm just sort of sprinkling this diamond dust over the entire piece, and it's only going to stick where that triple thick is at. So everything else we're going to be able to shake off. And I've put it on top of a paper towel so that I can shake the excess back into the jar here because I don't like to waste my diamond dust. So I think we pretty much got everything covered. And it looks amazing. And I'm going to take and just sort of give that a couple of taps. Got a couple of glue strings on there. So I've given it a couple of taps. And I'm going to take this diamond dust here because there's no dirties or fuzzies or anything on there. I'm just dumping it back into the container. And then here is our finished heart, angel heart. Isn't that gorgeous, you guys? On the other one, I did put a little butterfly. Let's see, let me show you that one. I did put a little butterfly on this one. You can see that there. And then this one I just put a beautiful piece of bling. But I don't know if I have another butterfly or something. I may stick one on there after the fact. But I'm not going to hold up the video to try and find something for it. So that's it for now, you guys. Thank you for watching, and I hope you really enjoyed this video. And both of these hearts will be in my Etsy shop for sale. Let me drift that down a little bit. Hopefully you can see the sparkle in this piece. See all that diamond dust on there? It looks amazing. So anyways, you guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Go on over to Kiki's sale because a lot of this stuff, these little pearls that came off of that piece came from Kiki's sale. This was a little dangle charm that I got from there. I got this this earring tail. This was an earring that I got from Kiki's sale that I made the tail with. I got most of these flowers from there, and these big Tim Holtz pearls I got from my friend Carol, who sent me a beautiful Happy Mail package. So I got those from her, and I actually got this piece of bling also from Carol. And then all of the lace that I'm using comes from Kiki's sale. Actually, these pieces of some of these appliques came from my friend Lauren, who sent me a package as well. And then, of course, my pearl and rhinestone chain that I got from my dear friend across the border. So I'm not telling you which border, just across a border. So anyway, this is it, folks. These are both of the hearts that I created. And please subscribe if you haven't already subscribed to my channel. Like this video if you enjoyed it, and feel free to leave comments. I do respond to all of my comments. And make sure if you have friends or family members that might enjoy crafting, make sure you share my video so that they'll have a chance to look at it, and maybe they'd like to subscribe to my channel as well so that they can capture some of these tutorials for themselves and start doing some different projects and things. If you have a project that you're interested in doing that you have not seen me do before, and something that you think you'd like to see, just send me a little note and let me know, what it is you'd like to see, and maybe I'll be able to do that for you. I'll certainly give it my best and give it a try, and hopefully, I can do some different stuff. I'm always looking for something new to do. I'm a very eclectic crafter. That's probably what I should have called my channel, is the Eclectic Crafter. But it's not. It's Refunction Crafts. Come back by and see us again sometime. Y'all have a blessed weekend, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.